Hello everyone, KirbyVolt here, and welcome back to Let's Play Mega Man ZX. In the last episode, we went after the core of Model W down here in the underground ruins of Area N, and we fought with Pandora, who was a distraction to buy time for Serpent to get the Model W core out of here and use it for bad stuff, which he's currently doing. Apparently there's an area all the way over, if I use the right thing to look at our map. Apparently there's an area all the way over here, next to Area D, that he's attacking right now. But we're over here in Area M3. And there's this place called Area N. Today, we're going to kind of ignore the fact that there's a major crisis going on in that area, and we're going to explore here. And by explore, I mean do the one major kind of secret thing in this game. It's hidden within this area, Area N. Now, before we do anything, the main path we want to go on is right here, but I'm going to suggest that you fill up your sub-tanks. All of them. It's going to be important to do so. You can get a lot of health by just going to this little area right here, and you can actually reset that health to respawn by going back into the transfer room. Now, if we look over here, there's another little disc we can get from one of these guys. Oh, why isn't that thing open? Open up thing, don't actually hurt me. I didn't want it to hurt me, but that's how it goes sometimes. And we'll get another boss token. I wonder what boss it's for, though. Interesting. And let's see, our sub-tanks are indeed filled up, so that should be good. Not too particularly happy about the fact that I'm missing a bit of health, but I don't think that should be hopefully that big of a deal. Now we're going to be going over into this little area over here. This green area houses a very big secret of Mega Man ZX. And I think it's time to talk a bit more about the history of the Mega Man series. Most people know the classic Mega Man series. You know, the classic Blue Bomber 8-bit Mega Man with, come on, the disappearing blocks? Yeah, you remember those. Well, that series takes place in the year 20XX. It's followed up by the Mega Man X series, which takes place in the year 21XX, and then followed by the Mega Man Zero series. The Mega Man ZX series is a follow-up to the Mega Man Zero series in many ways. In fact, it's one of the most closely tied series together compared to the other iterations of the Mega Man franchise. How much so? Well, let's continue on here with these disappearing blocks. My recommendation is to put on Model H. It will be useful just to kind of maneuver around this area, just to be safe. You can dash over here, and you don't really need to bother with these guys, because they aren't doing too much. This is where things get a bit tricky, because we're over instant death spikes, everyone's favorites. This isn't too bad if you're playing in easy mode, but this boss, yes, there is a boss here, probably isn't that bad either in easy mode. Ha! Okay, I almost got caught there. Now, switch to Model ZX. This will probably be your main good choice for here, because beyond this door is Mega Man ZX's secret boss. It is one of the toughest bosses in the game, and I'm kind of getting tense just thinking about it. So let's prepare a charge shot and get ready to rumble. Is that Zero? Believe it or not, this is not Zero. This is Omega. Omega was the main antagonist of Mega Man Zero 3. Omega is actually a robot that has taken Zero's original body. So that's the original power of Zero that's currently fighting us, with the mind of someone completely different. Omega as a boss in this game is ruthless. The reason why you want to have your sub-tanks on is to heal yourself, because this boss fight can be extremely dangerous. Omega has many different attacks, and you can spam them like crazy. He doesn't have the ability to flinch that often, so it's very hard to kind of get him off your tail if he's chasing you. This area also has no walls, so it's not easy to just wall jump over things like you could in most bosses. Omega also has the ability to heal himself, which makes him a dangerous foe. And if you notice in the background, things are kind of going a bit wonky. That's because in this area, this is the crash site of this place called the Ragnarok, which is where Model W was initially found. Apparently this area has a bit of manipulation over kind of cyberspace, and apparently the soul of Omega is fighting us from beyond the grave. And yeah, he likes to spam that heal move, and it really annoys me. You can make him flinch a bit sometimes when he's not doing an attack right at your face, but it's not that easy to pull off. In fact, this might be a botched recording based on how this fight is going. I think I've used my healing items too often. But, if I can get lucky... Okay, that was definitely the opposite of lucky. You're best off using the Buster here. If you do have Model X, should you be playing on a file that allows you to use it, it's actually your best weapon here. And I am surprised that I did that very well. In my first take, actually. Omega is a tough, tough boss. A lot of his attack patterns rely on using many different abilities that Omega or Zero in the Zero series would have had. He has a 3-charge Buster Shot that he was showing off a lot, that he'll follow up with a Saber Slash, and you have to jump over all of them, which I was clearly not good at doing. That's why we brought the sub-tanks with, because I am not going to be able to do that perfectly without taking any damage. His healing attack, should you get close to it, it actually will hurt you, so you can't rely on trying to shoot him while he's healing. You also can't damage him, period. A lot of his attacks kind of cover a large range of space, so it's very hard to kind of get pixel-perfect jumps and dodges away from him. And while there is a wall right here, you can't use this wall. This wall, the area that you fight Omega in, it cuts off before that wall appears, so you don't have the ability to use that wall to wall jump over him. Now, with Omega defeated, we actually get a special reward for that. However, that requires us to go back through this area. And quite honestly, the hardest part, I think, is going back through this area backwards, because these disappearing block patterns, I feel like they were meant more for... Oh, come on! A stupid got hit, and so I wasn't getting the instant death, and I thought that would have... whatever. I feel like this block pattern... Wow, that was bad. This block pattern is more suited for going the right way and not to the left, so just a moment of concentration, if you please. Freak! Alright, so that's the hard part. Now, we only have one life at this point, so let's not die. And yeah, using Model H I think is the best way to go with that. Also, I think I need to use those guys as platforms. My bad! Alright, hi. I'm gonna just do that. And be very careful here. And to be even more cautious... Human form activated! Yeah, human form. I'm gonna crouch under here to not get hit by those spikes. I'm gonna go straight to the save room just so we have that. Actually, no, I don't think... There's no instant death traps here, so... Everything should be fine. Unless those guys do major damage to me, which I don't think is gonna be the case. After defeating Omega, we want to actually go down to this area. This is kind of a really cool feature of the original Mega Man ZX that's not present in the sequel. For kind of obvious reasons, but, it's still a cool little touch. So, Omega, as I mentioned before, he was the main antagonist of Zero 3. He was the original body of Zero. His Zero got transplanted to another different body during some point before the Mega Man Zero series, and Omega took his original. Zero's body is apparently a lot stronger than Zero's current form, but Zero tragically had to part with it as he defeated Omega at the end of Mega Man Zero 3. Speaking of which, there's these two doors right here. Should you be playing on a regular Nintendo 3DS, or a regular Nintendo DS, rather, or a Nintendo DS Lite, you can use the GBA slot. If you have a copy of Mega Man 03 or Mega Man 04, you can actually fight bosses from those games. They'll be beyond these doors. Unfortunately, since we're using a Nintendo 3DS, we can't actually go through any of these doors right now. Fun little things. I've never actually done them myself, but since I don't actually own either game. But it's kind of a cool little detail, and I kind of like there's a lot of these early DS games that utilize that GBA slot to do kind of more interesting content type stuff. Anywho, so where we want to go is actually behind this door right here. Because if you defeat Zero, this will appear. Or, I mean, if you defeat Omega, this will appear. The Mysterious Rock. Now, the Mysterious Rock, unfortunately, does not do anything right now. You'll actually need to beat the game for it to do anything. However, should you beat the game with the Mysterious Rock, you will be granted a new Mega Merge. I'll be showing that off in maybe a bonus episode, since I do actually have that unlocked on my other file. With that said, that's actually all there is to say about this episode. It was just mainly the fight with Omega, and this is all of Area N. Area N is just this one little section. It's kind of cool, and I do like the throwback to the Mega Man Zero series, considering that this series has so much tie-in with it, considering the Ragnarok thing was the main plot of Mega Man Zero 4, the evil scientist that appeared, whose name was Dr. Weil, I'll name drop him now. He appeared in Mega Man Zero 3, which was the game Omega also appeared in. And the ability to go and fight bosses from those two games, which you can do if you're using a regular Nintendo DS or a Nintendo DS Lite, is kind of a cool tie-in with those games. And of course, if you haven't figured out by now, the scientist that was original leader of the Guardians, Prairie's sister, also shares a connection to the Mega Man Zero games. Anywho's, we have a mission to take care of, and we'll be doing that next time. So, thank you very much for watching this episode of the Let's Play Mega Man ZX. Hope you enjoyed my very bad fight against Omega. I'm surprised I got that done in one take. And most importantly, I hope you have a great day. Until the next one, ciao.